Hello there, YouTubers. Why is the rum always gone? Hi.
Alright, so I have these beads all ready to attach to the wig. Now these ones here are some scalloped coins. So these two, attach a wax thread to those, and enough to wrap with them. And then this one here is something I like to personalize my wigs with. It's a little hidden Mickey. So I'll hide that in the wig.
And of course, mate, do not forget to smash those likes.
Just having a little fun, you know?
And subscribe.
Alright, let's get to work.
Savvy?
Let's start with the African trade bead. We want this one to hang about there. About chin level. So we need to tie this one higher. And once we tie these all up, then we'll glue them all in pieces of 8. Okay, so the pieces of 8, you're gonna need a needle, sewing needle. To get the proper measurement on this one, you wanna hang just over the right eye. So once the bandana's on, imagine the bandana's on, it's gonna have to hang like that, there, about that much. So where that knot was before that we tied, that's where you'll put the needle into the wig. Just dig down in the hair till you get to some of the netting. There you go, and then tie it off. You're gonna wanna take the needle off for now. Just don't cut these threads yet, because you wanna glue that. You don't want it to get lost. Then you'll also need the needle for the famous bead strand. Hair back, you'll see a spot with the netting of the wig. This one here, I like to have a square bead, even with the bottom of the chin. Now remember, people have different face sizes too, so you can get that measurement on yourself. Right about there. Again, leave that thread there so we know to glue it. Ocean coin, right side here. So this one you can actually tie 2 ways. You can just tie it to the front like this, so it's front and center. But in the actual movie, it's in a couple of different spots. So you could actually tie it up like this as well, higher up on one of the back dreads. So it kind of hangs, swings around a little bit. So it just depends on what your preference is. Let's do the front and center. And while we're on this side of the wig, let's get a piece of red fabric, and on the end of that braid, tie right there, right to the end. Okay. Grab one of these scallop coins, right on the edge of one of these bottom dreadlocks. So the very bottom here, twist it up a little bit, tie it on that loose hair there. See, don't tie it on the thick part of the dread. This is just on the loose part. Get it? The reason why we're going to do that is so you can flip it up, flip that loose hair up now. And holding that loose hair, have the scallop coin hanging, and then wrap it up. So now you have that effect. See? While we're on this same side here, let's go ahead and put the hidden Mickey on this one. Use that same technique. This loose hair here, see it's thick, and then it gets loose here. Give it a quick twirl, tie it up, flip up that loose hair, give it that wrap. Don't worry about all that extra right there. We'll trim it up later. Now to this side, front one, the very front one is where we'll put this scalloped coin using that same technique. Now we have a strip of fabric, about a foot long. Now this is only on the Curse of the Black Pearl movie. On the second dreadlock in, you're gonna wrap it on the tip, the edge of the dreadlock. Tie it off. But before you tie it off, you want to make sure that you left enough slack here so that it hangs down. And that's just gonna stay like that. Don't cut that. That stays. Alright, and then I just have some random dreadlock beads I'm gonna put on the on the backs. Just put them in there randomly. These dreads move around a lot, so it's hard to range exactly where they go. Spin around, back to the right side. Now we are going to glue everything again. Everything we just tied on, we're gonna glue up. Just to secure everything on. Touch it up with some glue. Bottom of the trade bead here. Forget about that one. Now remember, in the actual filming of the movie, they would have to stop sometimes to make sure some beads were showing. You'll definitely get used to that when you're walking around. You'll be looking down to make sure your beads are showing. Just securing everything in place. Let's go ahead and snip all these pieces off. Now, make sure you don't snip the bottom of the trade bead off. That stays. Now when you snip the red on the braid here, leave a little bit hanging on each part. Now these spots where we put the scallop coins, you snip the thread and the hair that's hanging out. See that hair, that extra hair? Snip it right off. Remember, don't snip this extra red hanging down. Now what we're gonna do, some of the dreads on the bottom have that extra hair. You can feel it where it gets thin. Just snip it off. So you have a cleaner dreadlock. Again, also depends on which movie, because some of them aren't that clean. But for the original, we're gonna snip them off. If you made it this far, you'll probably make your own. But if this is too much of a daunting task, just go to anthonyzarrillo.com and get your wig made by a professional. You want to clean it up, but don't clean it up too much. Like if you see some pieces hanging out that are all looped up and don't look natural, just give it a snip. I like to always snip on an angle. If you snip flat, it looks too fake. So just give it a little angle, that's all. Try to balance it out too. If you see any hair that's longer than everything else, just balance it out. Now remember, when you're snipping up and cleaning up the wig, remember, do not cut this twine hanging off the bone needle. I've done that once or twice. You just get in clip mode and you just forget. Don't do it. Leave that twine hanging. Top hole.
Why is the rum always gone? And all you fellow pirates out there, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Hey.